Hey there, it's Chaya, and I'm back with another episode of Naked, the Messy Middle Edition. Today I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable getting naked. I feel uncomfortable being in the messy middle. I feel like I want to run. I feel a little bit disassociated and a little bit completely conscious. It's so uncomfortable right now. See, there's so much good going on in my life. I'm getting married. I love the love of my life. I see a beautiful future. I cannot wait. I actually moved into an RV, which is just so cool and giving me the opportunity to really transform into the person I want to be. Until then, today I woke up. I worked out. I have a beautiful breakfast in front of me. And yet, on the same note, if we go on the other side of stuff, I've kind of been neglecting myself. I haven't been eating so well. I haven't been putting myself first. I've been kind of using the wedding and using all these exciting stuff as an excuse not to look inward and to give myself what I deserve more than anything. The self-love, the compassion, the connection. And that's me trying to disassociate. That's me when I talk about this, me trying to run away, because the truth is it's really hard for me. It's hard to tolerate both and to make room for both, to make room for the part of me that likes to neglect me and yet still take care of me. You know, it's really hard for me to do both. And when I realize that I'm neglecting myself, what I want to do is take care of myself, but really what I end up sometimes doing for a moment there is running. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever had it, like, where you woke up and you're like, oh my God, like, I need to eat. But then instead of going to eat, you went to lay down and watch a show or keep yourself busy with something else or even work out instead of eating. Our health is a real thing. It's not something we just made up, or it's like, imagine having a car that you don't go and get gas for. It will not drive. Now, if you don't get an oil change, at some point it'll rust. And if you don't take care of different parts and get inspections when you need to, there will be different problems. Our bodies are the only home we get to really live in. Everything else around us, they change. But your body, that's the only home you live in forever, for this world. And I find it crazy that, for me at least, growing up, that was not put on a pedestal as the most important thing, as you know, you got to take care of your body. There was no loving connection created between me and my body. In fact, I hated my body growing up. And it hurts when I talk about it, because I remember looking in the mirror, and at the point that I remember, I was actually, like, my average height would have, for my height and weight, I should have weighed around like 120, and I weighed 105 or 107. And I remember looking in the mirror. I was on Adderall at that point because I was ADHD, and they put me on when I was 6 years old, because, you know, a 6-year-old could mess up the room. And I remember that was cynicism. Whatever. That was me being cynical, because I just don't think a 6-year-old can do anything bad on, like, is not okay. That's not. I'm digging myself deeper into the hole. You know, those little groundhogs, they keep digging and digging, and then they go deeper in. But really what I was trying to say is that I don't think at 6 we should be diagnosed with ADHD. I think that it's very possible I had a lot of anxiety and trauma responses, which can look like ADHD, but need to be treated very differently than being put on drugs. And, you know, putting me on drugs actually shut that down completely. And I don't think that's how it should have been dealt with. Now, it was a different time and different era than today, so it's possible they don't do it like that today, but that's all I meant. Now, coming right along, I remember standing in the mirror, and I'm on drugs, so I'm skinny. I'm not eating. I'm really not eating, and I still remember from the eyes of that girl saying, like, I don't look good. Like, there's this right over here I need to get rid of, and this, and I look at the pictures from then, and when I look at that image, I do remember looking not good. And yet when I look at pictures of me from then, I'm like, you were so skinny, you were emaciated, like, I don't know what's wrong with you. And it's funny because in my brain there's this mess of back and forth of like, so what was it really? Like, was I really that skinny, or am I saying that, like, what was really happening? So maybe those pictures caught me on a day that I didn't eat or whatever, and that's why, but oh, I told you I feel messy today, and I don't know how naked I can get because this is a hard topic. Anyone else understand why this is so hard? Body dysmorphia is like, oh God, and then eating is just is a hard thing when you have body dysmorphia. You either don't want to eat or you want to eat too much and get rid of it because you don't want to deal with it. And now I'm speaking about this very messy and very broad and open, not detailed because of where I'm at right now. That's to be honest. But wow, I'm having real trouble talking about this. This is just a topic that I feel like we don't talk about enough. And as much as I want to nix this video and start it all over and make it prettier, I'm going to keep this video because I hope that it opens some of your doors and takes you to some of the most uncomfortable places and gets you thinking. Because where I'm at right now where I realize that I've been neglecting my own body and I haven't been eating well enough. And it comes with a lot of pain for me because this is an ongoing issue for years, on and off. And I want it to go away forever. When I was little, if I didn't take a meal, I didn't get a meal. And I know now that that's not how it should be. Kids are supposed to be fed meals because they're supposed to be trained to eat, and if they're not fed meals, then they don't always know to have it, and they only eat when they're starved. And I've been trained that way. I've been trained to eat only when I'm starving, and I don't want to eat that way anymore. I want to eat when I like before that. I want to eat when I feel healthy. I want to train my body. It can rely on me as its source of food. That I will feed it and I will make sure it's good. Like a baby relies on a mother for food. Well, I want that. And I don't know if you're eating well or not, but I'm sure there's one area in your health right now and in your eating habits that you can make better. I'm sure of that. It always can get a little better. And I want to give you another opportunity to open that door in your mind and take a moment and think, what is that? Now, if you're at the far end, which I've been there, and you're vomiting your food or you're not eating, please stop. Get help. It's possible to come around. It's possible to get better. It really is. And today's day, there's way more help than there was when I was going through it. And there's actual help. But just stop. And if you're not at the far, and that's like one end of it. And if you're actually eating pretty well, but, there's one thing you should eat more of or you should eat less of, or, what if instead of it being like a whole fight and a whole like, I can't, I should, I this, maybe it's more of like, I'm going to treat my body like a temple. I'm going to treat my body. I'm going to treat it with that special food that I know my body likes, even if I don't particularly love it. Or I'm going to treat it and I'm going to stop eating that because I know it makes my body like ache and it just doesn't feel good. Whether it's slowing down on your dairy, whether it's eating less of gluten, whether it's whatever, what that next step is. I want to urge you right now, take a moment, think of it. Don't undertake the whole world, but just a little bit, maybe even just for today. Undertake one little thing that you can do to treat your body the way it deserves. And with that, I want to wrap up. And I want to say that sometimes it's hard for me to talk about these topics, but it doesn't mean they shouldn't be talked about. And I hope you gain something from it. I hope it opens some doors inside of you. And as hard as it is for me to say it, I'm sure it's that hard for you to hear it. So I hope that these words affect you in the way that they are meant to, and touch that nerve, the nerve that creates change. So I'm gonna wrap off. I don't know why I keep saying that. I'm gonna jump off right now. I'll see you guys soon. You know what to do, right? Like, subscribe. Really, if you haven't yet, subscribe right now. What are you waiting for? All right, I will see you soon.